In this video, we are going to be surviving 100 days in hardcore Minecraft with the Create mod installed. So sit back, get some snacks, and subscribe if you haven't. And that brings us, finally, to day 100. Oh man, a lot has happened on this journey so far, but... what? Wait, did you guys just get here? Hey man, well this is kind of awkward, but let's rewind a bit. And here we are, back to where it all started. You may have been expecting to see a little bit of a different sight, but this is no mistake. Because I need infinite amounts of space in this world, and there was genuinely only one seed that came to mind. So as you can tell by our spawn point here on day 1, we have got some mods installed. We are going to be surviving these 100 days in the Create mod primarily, which adds all sorts of rotational power and awesome stuff based on kinetic energy, which is so cool. I am looking forward to this mod so much. Number 2, we added this Biomes mod, Oh the Biomes You'll Go, which has got all sorts of different new biomes for the overworld, for the Nether, for the end. I've never checked it out, but I'm super excited to check it out. Which brings us to day 1, spawning in one of these modded biomes that looked like it was covered in wheat, but they were not actually crops. I went ahead and harvested some wood and spent a vast majority of the day slaughtering the sheep population. Made myself a bed with all that fluffy white sheepskin, grabbed some stone tools, and headed off to find myself a mine. Because step 1 for success in your hardcore world is getting yourself a shield. Isn't that right, cows? Around nightfall, I found a pretty good cave entrance, so I went ahead and dug my way down and entered the cave. Went ahead and waxed a zombie that was trying to interrupt my coal mining session. Then while I was crafting a campfire, there was an attempt on my life. I had to act fast, and being the man that I am, I took the coward's way out and ran into a corner running like a little girl. But I mean, let's be honest, you would too if you had that arrow in your neck. Following that traumatic experience, I tried to calm my nerves by gathering up some raw iron in a nearby mine shaft. And that's when I happened to find a spider spawner. Oh man, I was not very excited about this because the spiders are my least favorite to deal with, but you could see my excitement in the cursor whenever I found that saddle. Day 2 in the world was spent smelting, mining, and making some very heavy clothes. On day 3, my pockets were looking awfully full, so I decided to go ahead and get out of the cave. Needed to craft a new axe in order to keep my original ones because I'm trying to keep an original of every tier of tool that I use. I'm trying to build a lot of nostalgia in this world, and the only way that you can do it is to create it. Before leaving the cave, I decided I'd go ahead and mine up a ton of andesite, because in the Create mod, you can literally never have enough of this shit. Now, I am not gonna lie. Coming back to the surface, I was totally lost. I had no idea where I had come from. But after a little bit of stumbling around, I happened to find this village. The loot was absolute trash, but if I have to be honest, I was just wasting time so that I could lock them all in their domiciles at night. And just think, you might have had a chance if I didn't take your last bit of food. Man, I really feel like the Grinch in that clip. Morning of day 4, I'm putting that saddle straight to work by getting a horse that looks suspiciously like my Great Dane. So, we shall name this horse Maple. And I've never really messed around with horses too much in Minecraft, and they've been out for quite a while now. Oh no, it's cool, they've just been in the game for 9 years! So before we get some trains set up, I want to go ahead and explore with these guys as much as possible. Now since I was still lost and I wanted to get back to that biome I was in, and I happened to be recording everything anyways, I went ahead and checked my footage to see exactly where I had come from so I could get back to those really tall peaks. I'd like to build around that area. Made it back to the camp on Maple's back and went ahead and dug her a nice, comfy hole to stand in for days on end. Finished out the day by requesting leads from this drifter. The Create mod opens up many different possibilities for automation and stuff like that that's just not available in vanilla Minecraft. And at the heart of it all is andesite alloy, which we have to get together by mixing iron nuggets or zinc nuggets and andesite. Another basic material we're going to need is going to be andesite casing, which is made by stripping logs and then slapping some of these andesite alloys on top of them. And you get these awesome little casing things that have connected textures. They're really cool. We had to use some of our precious iron to make one of these mechanical presses, which is going to be used to go ahead and open up even more machinery for us by smashing out some of these iron ingots into iron plates. I promise we're going to be moving on from day 5 in a second, but you got to check out these mechanical saws. We go ahead and slap our hand crank on them, and as long as you're chopping down the last piece of wood, it just pops the whole tree out, saplings and all. And we can do some really wicked stuff with this in the future. Went ahead and spent some of my gold in order to make a wrench because, man, I really need one of these to pick up create blocks instantly. Day 6, I spent some more of my hard-earned riches in order to get myself a toolbox. These things are really cool because you can store all sorts of blocks, any block in the world you want in them, and they can hold 4 stacks in each of the 8 slots. After making the toolbox, I went ahead and took Maple out for a spin, trying to find anything useful in the world, anything at all. Later on in the day, we stumbled upon this village, which is pretty cool actually, so we went ahead and followed tradition and locked them all into their homes, because in my land, freedom is for the strong. We're going to the beach on day 7, Maple, are you excited? It's the Basalt Beach! So beautiful, isn't it? It's so gray and rocky. But don't lose focus, Maple, we came here for a reason. We have to go down and get some kelp, because in this mod pack, kelp actually serves a purpose other than just decorating the ocean. That's right, this kelp can be dried and crafted into mechanical belts. Which, I would love to show you a clip of me making them, but instead I'll just row around and pick up all the kelp, because I don't make those for a while. The rest of day 7 consisted of chopping trees, smelting charcoal, and planting more trees so that I could chop them the next day. On day 8, I went ahead and took Maple for a spin because I wanted to go ahead and find a different spot that was still within this biome, but one that was just a little bit better for my building needs, I guess. And there it was, the Maplewood Forest of my dreams. I decided right then and there, this is where we would be settling down, and spending the vast majority of the next 100 days building up my main project for this episode. Day 9, I saw that I could plant a modded tree with 9 saplings, so I went ahead and planted that baby, and oh, it's a whopper. Look at this. However, planting this tree turned out to be a huge mistake because it didn't chop it all down, and now that I think about it, I don't know that I ever went back there and chopped this tree the rest of the way down. Oops. The rest of day 9 was spent messing around with the Chisel and Bits mod that has been banned because it totally tanked my frame rate. Day 10, I am not gonna lie, I think my anger might have got the best of me.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
The rest of day 10 was spent looking for a cave to go mining in. Shortly after finding one, I found my very first diamonds. And you're probably wondering why my health is so low. I tripped. Let's go! Nailed it. And just as I was about to leave the cave on day 11, I went underwater and found the last diamond I was looking for. I just wanted 5 this whole time. Once I got home, I crafted that diamond pick I had always dreamed of, and then I went ahead and smelted all of the iron ore that I had collected. To me, it will always be iron ore because old habits die hard. Day 12 was finally moving day. I went ahead and packed up as much of my valuables as I could carry and rode all the way back to that maple forest that I loved so dearly in order to clean out the current residents from living there. And don't even ask what this is all about, but I checked, and there was no spawner. Day 13 just consisted of moving anything else that I considered valuable at this point in the world, which was, not much. Hey, look at that. You just saw me taking up my sugarcane at the old base, and now I'm planting it down at the new base on day 14. After that, I went in search of a new cave, and I happened to find one, and I got in a scrap with a few zombies, but I had to retreat because my axe was badly injured. But I swear to you, I'll be back. I did come back the very next day, leashed up Maple, and went into the cave to find my perpetrators. But, you know, they since despawned. However, there was a spider spawner that I easily disabled with 2 torches because the spawner mechanics in this game are absolute trash. Going through the loot, there wasn't anything too remarkable. 2 cats in one chest, that was kind of weird. But then going into the other chest, I looked at the enchanted book finally, and oh my god, we got a mending book. That's no big deal. It's just the literal best book in the entire game. With the rest of day 15, I headed out to the mining pit. I installed a little chest to drop off a bunch of crap since I frequent this area so much, and as you can see, I brought 3 iron pickaxes because we are gonna have some fun. Yep, I spent the entire rest of the day mining up andesite, because like I said, you need tons of it for this mod pack. Day 16, I switched to collecting diorite, because I knew I would need an absolute ton of this stuff for an upcoming build that I have planned. Speaking of a planned build, I returned home that day and went to work on crafting a Schematic Cannon. And this thing is awesome because you can take things that you have designed and built in Creative and upload it into Survival in a non-cheaty way. It's really neat. The morning of day 17, I made a schematic table and a couple of schematics and went ahead and uploaded my power plant onto a blank schematic. This gave me the ability to get a material list through the Schematic Cannon with a book. And now I know everything that I need for the Schematic Cannon to properly build this thing. I spent the rest of the day crafting and adding the materials that I could get my hands on into the chest in order to get this build started. And by the end of the day, I was able to get 1 out of 11 pages done. Oh man, this is going to be a process. Day 18, diorite. Day 19, diorite. Day 20 was farming my sugarcane and collecting obsidian. By the end of the day, I got my enchantment table all crafted up, and I picked out a spot for my nether portal, although I couldn't quite think of a reason that I deserved to go to hell quite yet. I'm a pretty stand-up guy. My next 2 days were spent installing water wheels as a primitive source of power so that I could get some of the materials crafted for my power plant, because this is going to be the solution for the power problem introduced with the Create mod. My next few days happened to get corrupted somehow. I don't know why. This was the only clip in the whole entire video that got corrupted, but yeah, is what it is. I'll try and fill you guys in. But for now, here we are with the rest of day 25, just collecting up some iron. Smash, 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 smash. Oh, now we are going to hell because I forgot about bludgeoning that llama a while back.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
But man, this modded nether biome looks kinda cool, I guess? I don't know, I'm kinda sick of it to be quite honest, because I never ever find another biome. I guess I'll have to wait until I get elytra, because I hate the nether. And I promise, I did explore the nether for a bit before deciding to go ahead and bridge off in a random direction, but you know what? I am glad I did, because I hate the nether. Oh my god, I hate myself for doing this. I'm bridging, and now I can't see the blocks, and I'm running out of blocks, and now there's a ghast. Oh no, 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 no. So I'm back. I came all the way back down my bridge, and guess what? A couple hundred blocks away, we found it. All that I was looking for. The Nether Fortress. I came here to fill up blaze burners in a manly voice. And would you believe it? When I came back, this guy, he tried to get the drop on me. And I thought about keeping this chicken, but then he tried to make his escape. Now I feel kind of bad, but you know what? I'm sure I've eaten less healthy chicken at Popeyes. Now, these blaze burners that we acquired are used for heating up things. I don't know if you can tell, but right here we're going to enter the brass age. This is done by mixing copper and zinc together with some heat provided by a blaze burner. You can do a lot of cool stuff with brass in this mod, but you also need some other components in order to get that cool stuff. One of them is this rose quartz, but it's not just rose quartz, we also have to polish it with this sandpaper here. Day 29, I went back to the pit to go and look for some iron. I need a ton of this stuff for my upcoming projects. Oh, and I forgot, on those days that I lost, it looks like I had enchanted a fortune pickaxe, so we have that now. Day 30, I used some of that brass and rose quartz to make this mechanical crafter. I needed 21 of them because we have to make some crushing wheels with it. You gotta use a wrench on all the pieces to get them all to funnel to one single drop-off point that you would like. But other than that, it's kind of a cool mechanic. I especially like the animation and sound effects that they did with the crafting here. I mean, just check that out. So satisfying. By the end of day 30, I had a decent amount of create machinery blocks that I would be able to use for an ore duplication setup. And this excites me, because I'm a nerd. Day 31, the gears are confusing me. Excuse me, sir, it's not safe on the builds. You could get axe murdered. Dude, I think we actually have something functional here. You put your ore on, it shoots into the crushers, they'll grind it up into the crushed ore stuff, then it'll go ahead and go through the washers. Then we even use one of these filters to go ahead and accept or deny anything that we want. In this case, we're going to be accepting things that we want to send into our compactor. It's hard to believe it took me till the end of day 33 to get this system operational, but you know what? I am proud as hell of myself, and I will only get better at this. And these nuggets of experience that we get from crushing ore are pretty awesome as well. They are so convenient and so very potent. I enchanted a diamond pick and it ended up getting Fortune 3 and Efficiency 4 and Unbreak. It was the perfect pick. It was the perfect one. And it turns out my original diamond pick only had Fortune 2. And that's just cringe, bro. But I combined the two for 24 levels and the lucky toothpick was born on day 33. On the ore crushing and washing setup, I put this stressometer on there and got 2 achievements in one because I was perfectly maxed out on all the power that I was producing from those water wheels, and I had no idea. And after that, I went back to the pit to load up on more resources. I'll even be one of those rare YouTubers and show you proof of some of my diamond mining. Day 35, I'm still at it, but look at that, more diamonds. That night when I came home from the pit, I crushed up everything that was able to be processed, and I even had 31 diamonds to my name. That meant I was finally able to switch from Old Navy to Gucci on day 36. I spent the rest of that day upgrading my mediocre power source with some soul sand underneath the base of the water wheels to get them turning faster. Now I'm out to gathering more resources for the power plant build. So you know what that means. We're heading back out to the pit, Maple. Now, I have ridden out here dozens of times by myself, but I've neglected to show you guys the journey. So let's triple speed it. Alright, you can cut the music. We're here. We're here. Yeah. It took like a minute and a half to ride out here, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm on a pretty fast horse. Maple's a Great Dane, and she can go like 30 miles an hour. I'm down here to get a bunch of this red stuff. It's a create block called Crimsite, and I need absolutely boatloads of it. Now I have over 500 of it, and I thought that would be enough, but guess what? It's not. Oh, and I think this is a good time to mention that I still don't have a good food source figured out. So every now and again, I just go out and slaughter an entire ecosystem of animals. Oh yeah, nothing like some freshly smoked mutton. Finally, on the evening of day 38, I think I have enough to be satisfied with starting to build our power plant. So I hit play on the Schematic Cannon and just let it start freaking out. I started doing some work while the cannon was running, like stripping some logs and making some copper casings for the rest of the build. Then I realized I was missing a golden opportunity. Now you can see where we're going with this. A full building made almost entirely out of diorite, like pretty much Minecraft's most hated block in the game. And I absolutely love it. Day 41, I was back in the pit collecting more resources for the power plant when I found a slime. This is huge in this mod pack because you can use it to make super glue. This was it for the next day. I mined diorite and copper all day long. Day 43, I was chopping some trees. I crafted the wood into barrels, I smashed the copper into sheets, and then I wrapped the sheets around the barrels to make some fluid tanks. But I'm gonna need 9 stacks of these, so it's gonna take a while. Day 45, Maple and I actually went to the beach, because, yeah, I needed a lot of sand, and I had no idea that you could actually generate it in this mod pack from cobblestone. So, there's that. Catching. So all of day 47 was destroyed, and I have this clip of me at night roaming around and kind of pieced together what happened. I needed wool, went out, and found a pillager outpost. From that point, I stripped it of as much dark oak and wool as I could find, and now we're here. Spent all day on day 48 crafting, but damn it, I hit that 9-stack goal of fluid tanks. Day 49, I put on my golden slippers and went into the Nether to go ahead and fill up 32 blaze burners. I really need 72, but, you know, they cost 4 iron each to make, so I don't got that, man. I don't have that much iron. I'm poor. But in my pockets, I did have another 64 sheets of iron, so that was enough to make another 16 blaze burners. So now we're going to fill up 48. And I am quite embarrassed to say how long it took me to figure out that you could just click them off the spawner. Day 50 was supposed to be a monumental day, but I spent it chasing and shearing sheep. I wish I was kidding. Day 50 was wool collection. Day 51 is meat collection. Once I finally made it home in the pouring rain, I smoked all of that fresh carcass I had acquired. Day 52, I found out that you could actually get black dye from crushing charcoal. That's actually really neat, because I need tons and tons of gray wool. Picking up the black dye, I accidentally dyed my belts. That's kinda cool. I didn't know that you could do that. Let's dye them all. Well, would you look at that? I hate it slightly less now. At the end of the day, I was mining copper underneath my power plant and found another spider spawner. This is getting actually ridiculous. Took me all day to finish mining and come on home on day 53, but I had tons of stuff to process. Doing all of the copper blocks at once, though, may have been a mistake. Oh yeah, mistakes have been made. Day 54, I crafted what I thought would be my last 19 blaze burners, and then filled them in the nether. The next day, the cannon was building away. And that guy's standing up there for some... Alright. And we are digging up the floor inside of the power plant to get ready to lay down some logs. Finally got the floor done on day 58, but I mean, it was a lot of wood to collect and place and strip. And I'm complaining. Day 59, I had to see exactly how to work a deployer, but it's actually pretty cool because the Create mod has this neat feature where you can just hold W over any kind of mechanism, and it will actually show you a pretty comprehensive breakdown of everything there is to know about the tool thing. Alright, maybe not everything, but it tells you a lot. The next thing I did was start replacing all of the things that were shot incorrectly by the Schematic Cannon, because this power plant is almost finished being built, but there is still a lot to do in order to get it operational and supplying me with infinite amounts of power. Now, my research for deployers earlier was not for nothing. I actually needed to figure out how to make precision mechanisms, which are made by deploying various cogs and iron nuggets onto gold sheets, and you gotta do this process 5 times, and there's only an 80% chance that you actually get a precision mechanism in the end. In the end, I got 5 out of 7 precision mechanisms and a clock. That's pretty cool. Now with the use of precision mechanisms, we can make really cool stuff like this mechanical arm here. Oh, and I cannot wait to hook these up to the power plant. I was so excited I even started placing them down in rough locations that I think they'd be useful in, and then filling up the infinite water sources underneath my pumps for the water. By the end of day 61, I got one of the windmill towers ready to hook up. This is going to be used as a priming device. Ultimately, it will power the tree farm and one of the pumps to be able to get the initial system up and running. Day 62, I brought down the windmill power and carried it over to the place where the tree farm would soon be. And oh my god, I wish I would have planned out the rotational power in creative mode. This is driving me insane. Day 63, I'm blowing something up. I need it for my mental health. Oh my god, I did not mean for you to be there. All the cobble I collected through explosion mining was actually going to be useful for me because I was going to crush it up, wash it, and turn it into iron. Not very much iron for how much I put in, but still, turn it into iron, baby. Day 64, I worked on a minecart contraption that has a bunch of drills on the front of it. This would actually be used for my new method of mining cobblestone and iron. However, I went a little too liberal with the glue here, and that's going to cause me some problems later. Oh, and by later, I mean right now. And I couldn't figure out the problem, but it was the glue. But I finally got it working day 65, and I spent that entire day just riding this thing and letting it mine. And I think my head's in a block right now, and that's why it looks so weird. Nabbed a couple of buckets of lava the following morning because we are going to be making a Create-style smelting setup to fit underneath our power plant. Our whole entire power plant is going to be ran on the charcoal from an upcoming tree farm. Speaking of tree farms, I just sat and thought about what I could do to make one? Man, I really wish I would have planned this thing out in creative mode or followed a tutorial or something. Alright, this thing looks like it's starting to come together now. I needed more iron than my little puny miner could possibly provide me. And on my way to the pit, I happened to come across this boner horse. Which, you're a day early, pal. But you know what? We'll go ahead and take you out, leash you up, and bring you home. I took all 4 of those Death Riders down without even breaking a sweat. But it's no real surprise because I am the supreme being of this universe. And I got back from mining without showing you any of it. But I didn't get any diamonds, so I didn't break any laws. Day 69, I had to go and farm up my morning wood because I couldn't think of any more penis jokes.
You stupid.
And by the end of the day, I think I finally had something oh, never mind. It's not planning anything. And like a big boy, I figured out the problem all by myself. See, it was a common rookie error. My hands were up too high to properly finger the farm. If I didn't spend all my time playing Minecraft, maybe I'd know that. Oh man, I really hope this works. Yeah! Well, now that I got the tree farm all working, I really need a way to cook these logs into charcoal. So if you set up some fans blowing into lava, they'll actually cook those items and smelt them up. It's really, really neat. And they can do like entire stacks at a time. Day 71, everything's broken again. I think it's a gluing issue, but I can't be sure. Day 72, we are kicking up the power plant with some power. I brought it over from the windmill. Now let's go ahead and see everything that breaks. Well, so far it's alright, but I cannot seem to figure out why this portable storage interface is not accepting items from my tree farm. I mean, the thing is clearly full of wood. Well, I pondered it, and it looks like you actually have to be pulling stuff directly out of the thing. Okay, I can do that. Oh, it took me all the way till the end of the night to figure out how to wire this up, or power this up. I think I finally got it all working on day 73, and oh my gosh, it feels so good. And it should take all these items once the barrels get full, but it is actively pulling items out now. Now I have the task of routing all this charcoal to the various arms so that they can fuel all the blaze burners in the power plant and provide us with infinite amounts of power. Day 74, still working on it. Day 75, I'm really getting this system under control. Look at that, we have got charcoal that will run straight on through and split 3 ways, go into all the various arms in the factory so that they can refuel our blaze burners. Oh, it's a thing of true glory. For day 76, all I have written down is more painful to watch than power hookups. So, day 77, I'm a broken man. I had to craft another mechanical arm and quit being so cheap because my power plant's not running properly since I'm a cheap ass. Day 78 was spent crafting and researching for how I could install a kill switch onto the charcoal production because I'm starting to overflow. Day 79 I spent implementing the system that I had researched, and to be quite honest, I way overcomplicated this thing. I did not need half of the stuff I put on it. But Mom always taught me there's more than one way to skin a cat. I don't know why she taught me that. Time to start hooking my power plant all together into one cohesive unit. If I get all of the various steam engines in the whole factory all linked together, I could actually see how much power my entire factory is producing. And that is the dream. Wait, if that's on, why are you still running? Okay, I had a redstone link right there. I think a tree keeps growing up and destroying it. So, maybe we'll block it off. Yep, that worked. So day 81, we're doing a little bit of cleanup outside the tree farm. Day 82, I had to re-up on some food, and then I went ahead and added some more drills to our auto miner, because I would really love to use this thing to get some more iron. And the next day, I sought to do just that by digging straight down at my nether portal, in order to make 2 separate areas for the minecart contraption to go and mine out some blocks. One of them was deep underground next to a mine shaft at about y equals -50, and the other one was at about y equals 16 so that I could get my hands on some iron, andesite, cobblestone, all that jazz. Day 84 started with me crafting up some diamond tools because I really wanted to go ahead and get a silk touch pickaxe. And here we did just that. We got our water pick, we got our gravy dipper, and we headed to the nether to get some of this nether gold ore, because when you crush it in the crushing wheels, you can get 2 ingots per ore. We came back with nearly a stack and a half of this nether gold ore, and that will get us plenty of gold for now. Day 85, I added even more drills onto our miner, so now this thing will mine out a 5x4 hole pretty nicely. The rest of that night was spent drilling holes deep. I always seem to need more iron for some reason. Returned to the surface the next morning to crush everything up and turn it all into ingots, and look at that, we are getting quite wealthy. I tried out a placard for my clock in the power plant, but you know what? The clock doesn't move. It's stagnant in the... It looks so cool, but it doesn't... Every bit of day 87 was spent eating these tasteless nuggets of experience and failing to get a looting 3 or feather falling 4 enchantment on either a sword or a boot. Please. Why? I already have Depth Strider. Day 88, I'm back down in the strip mine to try and get myself some more iron. Really, I was just showing the contraption off to my daughter, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We went down and got some resources. Brought it back up to the surface the next day and realized I am probably going to need to upgrade the storage on this thing. We have practically filled it all the way up. Spent all day of day 90 trying to make some more precision mechanisms, but I'm actually getting the hang of this thing. I need to make an actual factory for it, though. This is getting kind of ridiculous. Day 91, I took Maple for a spin to go out to a nearby village, because I'm breaking down, guys. I want a mending book. I want several mending books. I need them. Once I finally got the villager to give me a mending book trade, I was very excited, as you could see, but he was offering a bookshelf trade, and I really counted on a paper trade here. Damn, I'll show you. I'm gonna dismantle your house and sell it to Fletcher's. I did sell his house to Fletcher's, but I wasn't gonna be able to get enough emeralds tonight. I'm gonna need to come back another day. Came home disappointed, tried for a looting enchantment all day, ended up more disappointed. But I got this nice little sweeping edge sword. I guess that's kinda useless. Since things can't get any worse, I went to hell, filled up my blaze burners, and then spent the day getting blaze rods. And I came back home with 13 blaze rods. In hindsight, I probably should have left one of those holes so that I could have made a brewing station, but I crushed every one of them. Oh well. I spent day 94 belting over the charcoal to the other side of the power plant and hooking up the mechanical arms so that we could get this whole entire thing in all of its glory totally operational. I need kelp, and I feel like taking my boat for a spin. So let's go ahead and travel down this river that I've never been down and see if we can find a little bit of kelp. Well, that was a bust. So I took Maple back over to this basalt beach that she loves so much and picked up some kelp there. And I just love how we've got this charcoal belted through the floor to get to the other side. We're going to be covering up with glass later, and it's going to be a feature of the floor. Day 96 is moving about my mechanical arms for the last time, because I think I've finally got everything running exactly how I want it to be. Day 97, I finished hooking up every one of my steam engines together to be one massive, cohesive power network. Now, if only there was a way I could see how much power I'm producing. In reality, there's several ways to check it. The first way is to use one of these stressometers, but I have something much more fancy in mind. And day 98, we are setting up one of these display boards. It is the more fancy way of displaying our information, whatever we really want to see. To use it, we need to use one of these display links that can target our display board, and then we can put it on certain things that can be measured, such as our stressometer, in order to see our network stress and all sorts of different information. We can also go up and dye all the individual lines any color that we want. Your eyes are not deceiving you. We are producing over 1 million units of power. Day 99 was spent housekeeping because there's a lot of crap out of order here. Then I spent the rest of the night setting up some kind of overflow system so that I can collect some of the wood that I'm missing out on my charcoal farm, because for right now, when it's full, it just shuts off. And it finally catches us up to where it all began. And here we are, day 100, and oh my god, what a journey it has been. I know you guys are probably sick of seeing this power plant by now. It's been the vast majority of building and collecting resources for this power plant. We have our trusty little miner here, our massive power plant with all of our steam boilers inside, producing tons and tons of power. As a matter of fact, we just got the display board set up, over 1 million stress units being produced by this insane power plant. And here we are, the sun has risen, it is about to, any second now, turn to day 101. But this is how I survived 100 days in the Hardcore Create mod. I built some pretty awesome shit.